Welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. The curiosity of tinkering with the Inspect Element tool or wondering how hackers manage to deface websites is what initially sparked my interest in hacking as a kid. That's why I decided to create this video, where I'll take you through the different ways websites are hacked and answer any questions from those who are just as intrigued as I once was. So, let's dive right in. Disclaimer. This video is meant for cybersecurity enthusiasts and is strictly for educational purposes. It does not provide a step-by-step guide on hacking websites, but rather discusses the techniques attackers use to exploit them. Security misconfigurations. To start off, every website on the internet consists of two main sections. The visible part meant for users and the back-end administrative section containing files and pages not meant for public access. These files often include sensitive data necessary for the website's operation. Ideally, these should be hidden from visitors, but many developers overlook this fundamental security measure, leaving an open door for hackers to exploit. Hackers can use tools like Directory Buster to scan websites for exposed links, potentially uncovering hidden pages with sensitive data or admin login panels. If these login portals use default credentials, they can be brute forced with ease. Another common attack vector involves manipulating URLs through file inclusion attacks. Local file inclusion, or LFI. An attacker manipulates a vulnerable website into opening restricted system files stored on its web server. For instance, if a site loads pages dynamically using a URL parameter, a hacker can tamper with it to gain unauthorized access. Remote file inclusion, or RFI, is a technique where instead of just viewing files, an attacker can exploit a website's vulnerability to execute a malicious script hosted on their own server. This can lead to a backdoor installation, granting unauthorized access to the server. Lastly, code injection attacks pose another serious threat. In this method, attackers embed malicious scripts into images using steganography and upload them to a vulnerable website. If the site does not properly validate uploads, the infected script executes, potentially modifying site content or deploying malware. SQL injection. SQL is the backbone of most websites' databases. SQL injection attacks involve manipulating input fields to execute unauthorized commands on a website's database. For example, if a website's login system fails to sanitize user inputs, an attacker could input SQL code that bypasses authentication. By entering a string like admin in a vulnerable login form, the attacker tricks the system into authenticating them without a valid password. If you're interested in a more in-depth breakdown of SQL injection, I've prepared a detailed PDF, which you can find in the description. Cross-site scripting XSS attacks. Unlike the previous attacks that target the website's database or server, XSS attacks exploit users' browsers. This is done by injecting malicious scripts into comment sections or forums on vulnerable websites. Once executed by unsuspecting visitors, these scripts can steal user data, display deceptive pop-ups, or redirect them to phishing sites. For example, imagine a website that lets users convert web pages into downloadable PDFs. If it's poorly secured, an attacker could manipulate the request and force the website to fetch sensitive internal files instead, exposing confidential data. I've linked additional resources in the description for those who want to explore SSRF further. Distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attacks flood a website with massive amounts of traffic, overwhelming its resources and making it inaccessible to legitimate users. Hackers use botnets, networks of compromised computers, to execute these attacks, which can cripple websites or even entire online services. While DDoS attacks are relatively easy to launch due to botnets being available for rent on the dark web, their effectiveness varies. Some may not yield the expected impact, increasing the attacker's risk of detection. Final thoughts. Cybersecurity isn't just about hacking, it's about understanding how systems are exploited and how to defend against those attacks. Malware plays a significant role in hacking, making it essential to study and stay ahead of emerging threats. If you found this video informative, make sure to check out the additional resources in the description. Let's continue exploring the fascinating world of cybersecurity together.